To VIT Bhopal University. I, Dr. Vinod Bhatt, on behalf of School of Advanced Sciences and Languages, English Division, welcome you all for English Proficiency Test. I think you all can just infer what the name suggests. English Proficiency Test means we are going to evaluate your proficiency as in terms of English language, as English is our language of instruction in our university. So we ensure that all the students are coming. At least they should have a very reasonable, the understanding of English language. Therefore, keeping this point in our mind, we conduct English proficiency test every year for the new joinees. The If we talk about the very basic objective of English proficiency test, so I think everybody knows every language has four aspects to it, which is popularly known as LSRW. L stands for listening, stands for speaking, R stands for reading, and W stands for writing. All these four components are very essential as far as language comprehension part is concerned. And as far as uh, academic comprehension is concerned, then you should have reasonably good in all these four aspects of language. As I told you in the beginning, if you remember, uh, English is our language of instruction, so everybody is expected to have a reasonable amount of the comprehension in English language. So first objective of conducting EPT is to assess your language skills, and still we consider, like, you have a very good understanding of English language. Still, we just try to check where you stand, and as per this test, we'll just try to evaluate your present, the status of language comprehension, particularly English, and accordingly we'll just figure it out how to just improve it for the further challenges or the further stages. So this is our first objective. The second one is to find out your proficient area of language. As in the beginning I talked about, the language has four aspects to it, LSRW, and through this test we'll just figure it out which part of the language you are very much the proficient with, and then accordingly we'll start working on you. And the third one is to make you a proficient user of language in the real world situation. When we talk about real world situation as in context of English language, then it has a very simple, the meaning or the simple connection. Like the real world situation, we do not, the consider the job opportunities you may have within the country itself. You may have your job opportunities anywhere across the country, and then across the world rather. And you can just grab these opportunities if you have a good grip over the language, because that is considered the universal language. And then if you have a good grip over that, probably you can just beat any competition, and you can just have a good opportunities across the world or across the globe. So to just set you in that global situation, it's very important to you to just have a good proficiency over the language. And when we talk about the goal, look at these four goals that have four terms I have written here. First one is group discussion, second one is interview, third one is analytical reading, and the fourth one is resume writing. And see, these four components are very important as far as your placement, or as far as your the career opportunity is concerned. See, when we talk about career opportunities, probably your means our placement office would just brief you how to just deal with your this placement, the procedure. But just to give you how language can just give you a push to grab these opportunities. Uh, every company has a very common, the procedure to conduct group discussion. Group discussion is a part of language proficiency. Group discussion is a very typical or modern method of assessing a personality. And here you would be set up with a group, and then you will be asked to discuss critically on a topic. And it's not only the language is judged here, it's how well you just perceive your points, your thought process, your brainstorming, and your thinking power. Everything is evaluated here through group discussion, so that if you have a good command over the language, probably you can have a good the grip over this group discussion, and your chances would be little higher as in terms of selection process. The second one is interview. As the name suggests, this is also one of the very essential, the steps of your recruitment. When you just clear all initial rounds, then you will be exposed for the interviews. And interview is a very typical process, as I told you. And the group of people, maybe sometimes only in one individual, may ask you a couple of questions, and you have to answer all these questions. And it's not how you are answering that. What you are answering is equally important. And the manner of answering these questions are all equally important. So this is our second thing. Our goal is to just make you so competent to deal with the interview. Also, we have one more objective that is known as analytical reading. Right, when you just learn how to read it, reading is not a very easy task. Reading does not mean you just read something. That is just a reading. Nothing is just coming in your mind. Reading means when you read it analytically, you should be able to read it, and then you should be able to reproduce it. So if you go through this EPT, and after just getting your responses, probably we'll get to know your the weakest area, and then we can work upon that. So reading is very important as far as your career path is concerned. So we'll just start working on that. And the last but the very important thing, that is your resume preparation. We used to say resume is the first interaction between you and your employer. So that gives you, if your writing skills are very good, probably you would be able to just deal with your resume writing so well, and your first interaction with your potential employer would be very fruitful. So these are the four goals. I hope you just understand all these things, because all these four respectively connected with all the four components of language. And this will give you a little motivation to just work upon your basic, the language skills of English. As far as let me just brief you what English division is. And English division is a part of a School of Advanced Sciences and Language, VIT Bhopal University. And we have certain the curriculums, and we offer our courses in BTech, MTech, MCA, BBA. And also we just deal with many soft skill courses, which provides a kind of the training for their the placement process. We have total 8 credits. If I talk about your BTech, total the 160 credits, then we have 8 credits. Initial 2 semester, in first and second semester you would be having 2 courses, and probably third and fourth semester you would be having 2 courses related to soft skills. So this is what English division. This is how English division function here in VIT Bhopal University. And just to give you a brief about how this English proficiency test will be comprised, and how it would be the conducted. So let me just give you a brief about the content of it. See, let me tell you, it's nothing new in that. Whatever you have studied so far, uh, by your the 12th standard, everything would be on a repeated mode. It's a kind of revision, you can take it in that way. So nothing to worry. Only thing is that you need to revise your the previous content that you have just gone through so far. So first topic in your reading comprehension would be taking 5 marks. It's a reading comprehension. A passage would be given to you, would be little lengthy, and it would be little the complicated in nature, little complex in nature, so that you cannot just easily solve it. So it will be for 5 marks. After that paragraph, there would be 5 questions based on the paragraph. Then you have to answer these questions. What is the most important thing here in reading comprehension? You have to read the passage very carefully. So read it properly, just try to comprehend the meaning of it, and then accordingly you answer these 5 questions. And there's no negative marking. Second column starts with subject verb agreement. Probably you have heard it at any point of time by this time. So there would be five questions. Again, I say they will not be very simple one. They would be little complex, so that you can just raise your the comprehension with these words uh, a little bit, so that you can deal with that. Next, jumble sentences would be there. Here in this column, you would be having five questions, and in each question you will find out four or five sentences. They are not properly arranged. The sequence is break. So what you have to do, you have to read all these sentences very carefully. Just try to put it in a proper context so that they can just give you a meaningful statement, and you have to arrange all these five the sentences in a very meaningful way. And this is how you can solve these exercise based on jumble sentences. The next column is related to spelling correction. Spelling correction is a very the common thing. And just after having so after the having equipped with so many technological tools, we are little weak in writing spellings. And it looks so odd when you just make any spelling mistakes related to writing any words on paper. So just be very clear with that. There would be five the questions based on spelling correction. And here what you will find out, all these five the options in the spelling correction would be almost the same. So you have to just read it very carefully, and then you have to answer appropriately as in terms of spelling correction. Each marks would be carrying one, and for every correct answer you will fetch 1 marks for that. Next column would be here in this test related to articles. So as everybody knows, there are three articles. Questions would be asked based on that, and then you have to place either a, and the. And all these mm, all options mm, would be looking as correct, but you have to read the sentence very carefully, and then accordingly you have to place the article. So there will be five questions based on article placement, and then each question would be carrying 1 mark. The same one is the preposition, the next column, and the next one is the conjunction. Preposition, again, you have to be very careful, because sometimes multiple options looks correct. So you don't have to just get deviated. You have to place the right preposition at the right place. Five questions would be asked. Each question would be carrying 1 mark for each. And the next one, conjunction, again, the five questions would be asked based on that. And then uh, you can just get 1 mark for each. The next column, there would be three what I can say, three portions, three segment. Synonyms, antonyms, and one word substitute. Synonyms would be for 5 marks, antonyms again for 5 marks, and one word substitute again would be for 5 marks. And synonyms, I understand, it's a very broad area, so be you cannot claim that you know every word, but we'll just give you the words as per your standard. We'll not just ask you very complicated, very complex words. They will be very, not very simple, but not very much tough. We'll just give you the question based on your as per your level, as per your understanding. So we believe you would be able to solve this question, if not very easily, but not with lots of difficulty. The same thing applies here as in terms of antonyms also. So five questions would be there, and then you can go through these questions, and you can answer these uh, questions. See, I believe and we believe that will not be very easy, but if you just try to think a little bit, uh, then you can just solve all these, the questions related to synonyms and antonyms, because they are going to help you a lot. All right. So every competition examination, there is a compulsory, the section of synonyms, antonyms, and one word substitute. So by doing it, so we are just, making you to just be ready for the upcoming challenges, upcoming, the opportunities. If you just start working on your synonyms and antonyms, probably all the competitive examination would be little easier to you. So this is how you can start working for that. And the last column, this the initial, these columns would comprise, the 50 marks. Last column, there would be 5 questions, but each question will be carrying 2 marks. And this is called listening comprehension. What you have to do, we have just given you one audio file. You have to, to listen it. Either you can download it and then listen it, or else you can just listen it online as well. So you have to listen that audio very carefully. Hardly it's a, the audio of 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. But I tell you, it's very complicated because the meaning is not very much clear. The meaning is not given in the line, it is somewhere in between the line. Only the people who just listen it very comprehensively, that will be able to answer these, the questions going to be asked in the in this column. So every question would be carrying 2 marks here, and then you have to answer that in the same time. This is the English proficiency test, segregated into 4 sections. The first section, it will be conducted through Google Form. So first thing, my request is to join through VIT mail ID. I think everybody would have just got his or her, the login ID, mail ID. So you join your Google through your VIT login. Otherwise, it will not work. So let me just repeat it again. You have to join through Google, sorry, through your VIT mail, and then only you would be able to access the test. Within that Google form, there are 4 segments. In the section 1, you will find out the essential instructions and mail ID. When you just put this mail ID, the first part is over. Then you will be able to access the section 2. In section 2, there are some personal informations you have to give. For example, your name, your branch, your stream, your school that you have joined here. School does not mean your school, previous school. School means, for example, your school is computer science engineering, right? Or the computing engineering, computing. So that is the name of your school. When you just fill all this information, then you will be able to access section number 3. In section number 3, you will find out 50 questions. All questions are compulsory. You cannot just leave any question unattempted. And the positive point is that there is no negative marking. So even though I believe if you do not know 1 or 2 questions very appropriately, then you can just go for guessing. But you don't have to leave unattempted. You have to attempt every question in that given time. When you just complete your third section, then you will be able to access fourth one. And the fourth one, as I told you, is the area where you can just find out your questions related to listening comprehension. Audio will be given to you. You have to listen that audio properly, and then you have to answer 5 questions. Each question will be carrying 2 marks. But let me just repeat it again. Just to access this test, you have to join, right, through VIT mail ID. You have to, then only you will be able to access it. There will be 60 minutes time for 55 questions. A last listening section would be carrying 5 marks only, but each question will be carrying 2 marks. All questions are compulsory and there will be no negative marking. That's the very positive point. You can access all the questions, as I told you, even though if you are not very much sure with that question. This is our team, and Dr. Hemant Kumar Nashine uh, is the dean of the School of Advanced Sciences and Languages, and we all work under him. We have a team of near about 7 people, and I, Dr. Vinod Bhatt, is the senior most in the department next to dean, and we have Dr. Anita Yadav, we have Dr. Rajiv Saxena, we have Dr. Atul Aman, we have Dr. Soumya Shankar, we have Dr. Debrat Gupta. Other than that, we have Dr. Chandrama, we have Dr. Narendra, and we have a couple of research scholars as well. So this is our team working for the different courses related to English, related to communication skills, and related to soft skills. This is our School of Advanced Sciences and Languages, and this the left hand side, right hand side, sorry, you can just see the team of leadership. So that's it. all about English proficiency test. I wish you all luck for the MOOC English proficiency test. Probably the MOOC English proficiency test will give you every possible idea to how to the work with that. So whatever questions you have in your mind probably will be sorted out when you just give this test. Once you just give that, probably the next day we will have the final examination, though it will be only for 10 marks, sorry, 1 hour, but you have to be very vigilant and very ready to give this examination. See, so we generally try to go with little, the flexible, I can say, evaluation system, but still, suppose if somebody just gets 40%, sorry, 40%, less than 40%, then you don't have to bother for anything. What do we do? Those students who get less than 40% marks in this test, we do have our own course. Then initially we give them this course, remedial course, for say around 15 days or 20 days, just to just bridge that gap which is lacking between your existing English language comprehension and our expectation or our expected the standard. So within 15 days, you will have to complete that course, and then you will come at the level of the other students. And the very important thing that I want to say, within 15 days, I don't think any language can be learned until unless you really are feel very determined to put your efforts. So you have some time, you can start working on your language. With this remark and note, I wish you all very luck for this EPT test. Best of luck. Thank you so very much.